Alright, so I just watched Oppenheimer, and I hope you can hear me. Where's my... Oh god, let me just... Oh, sorry, that's my fingies. There we go. Oh, there we go. Maybe you can hear me better, maybe not. So, basically, I just saw Oppenheimer. I was really excited for it, and I have mixed feelings. Not because of, like, how good the actual movie was, because I give it a 9.5 out of 10. That was a fucking masterpiece, and I'll probably go to see it in cinemas again. I can't remember the last time I don't think I've ever shaked seeing a movie. That bomb detonation scene literally made my heartbeat go crazy, and I was sweating. I could hear my dad just breathing really heavily. My sister didn't know what to do with her hands. The people in front, deadly silence. Deadly silence. It wasn't a few people cried, few people laughed. It was everybody was silent. That was insane. And there's so many moments in this movie where it was just so good. And the sex scene, the first one with, I'm so sorry. I feel really embarrassed. I don't know this woman's name. But the first woman that he had sex with, right? That was important to him. That later committed suicide. And how she was like on top of him or next to him naked, and she had him read while she was naked the fucking Bhagavad Gita quote. That shit made my like. I'm saying that because I think this is one of the. I think there's like dozens of moments in this movie that are like absolutely masterful. God, this movie's so good. I'll probably go see it again in cinemas. I'll go there to see it again. It was insane. God, and I'm saying that scene like gave me chills because it's like, oh god, it's so artistic and man, it's so good. Sorry, I'm so sorry for that. Anyways, the reason why I'm conflicted about this movie is, I'll be completely honest with you. So in one of my earlier Dead Open videos, I said I wanted to have Oppenheimer as a villain just because he has open in his name. And I got the idea from, I'm pretty sure I got it from Epic Rag Battles of History. I'm not even joking. That was the video that gave me the idea. What if I have him as a villain? And he was living at the same time period as Carl Jung. And they kind of knew each other a little bit. Not necessarily, but they both knew Einstein. And so that did connect them a little bit. And Carl Jung is actually, and Freud are mentioned in the movie as well, which is really neat. But I had that idea, I don't know how long ago, but I had no idea that an Oppenheimer movie would be coming out. But just have this story of a broken man and explain him and his story behind the bomb and let people know that, hey, he exists, because he gets overshadowed by the atomic bomb itself so much. I was really glad that there was a movie that would exist, but I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit sad too, because I kind of wanted the spotlight, and have Oppenheimer. I wanted to be the one to do Oppenheimer justice, but they did everything perfectly. Like, they did what I wanted and beyond with him. That movie was incredible, and the acting was great, and the music, God, so much good stuff about that movie, and it was so awesome. But, so Oppenheimer is more well known. More people know about him. And when I have him as a villain in Dead Open 2, it is not going to be as unique. It's going to be less interesting because we've already seen his story. This is where I'm lucky enough, where I get to tell a completely different story and show what happened through a different perspective. In that way, exploring the Bhagavad Gita, exploring what happened after Oppenheimer passed away with his family, what effects he had on the world. All of this is what Dead Open 2 can explore. And also gave me, man, that movie's terrifying, but you can go even further. You can go even further. If I'm gonna have the balls to go even further with Dead Open 2, it's a huge risk. It's a huge risk. You may not realize how big of a risk that would be to really go above and beyond even this movie, which you can. But that would just be a horror movie, or horror game, rather. So how far could I take it? Very far. How far will I take it? I don't know. But I'm glad that I can keep almost everything the same as before I saw the movie. but I can enhance everything. I was they like the interrogation and that jumping into the story. That's something that I already actually had even before that was like one of the first ideas I ever had with Oppenheimer, was that he would have this interrogation with a character. I'm not going to say it because of spoilers, but they would have this kind of interrogation, this kind of talk, this personal talk, until in the end it would make sense why that talk and when it was happening. I can still keep that the same, and the movie did something really similar with that, so that was fascinating. I can definitely see with the vision that Christopher Nolan had, and that was really fascinating. So this movie's so good, and it's almost perfect. I would have changed a few things up. I would have shown... The one thing I would change about this movie, I would show more of what happened. I know there's not time for that, but how about have like the pilots, right? Because what if we went into, what if we saw what was happening through the pilots' minds when they were dropping that bomb and how it actually looked? And I realize that you can't really put that into the movie. Christopher Nolan doesn't like his CGI thing, and it would also be very dark to actually show the bombings themselves. That'd be incredibly horrible. But you could go that route. You really could. And yeah, I have plenty of ideas, even like musically, what to do with Oppenheimer. It was such a good movie, and actually I feel like now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm kind of glad that this movie exists. I'm actually really glad for a lot of reasons, because I think that if I just suspend that side of myself that's telling me now it's not going to be as unique anymore, it is going to have a bigger impact. More people know about him, and it's not going to be the same story. It's going to follow up on the idea of what if Oppenheimer was still alive and in the dead open worlds and was among the many gods, right? It was among the many dead open authors, which are basically gods that get to do anything. They get to destroy and make everything. Vishnu and Oppenheimer. Vishnu is someone that is mentioned, but Bhagavad Gita never actually in the movie has any real, like, it doesn't show what kind of impact it really had on Oppenheimer. It is, however, that's obviously not a mistake on the movie, but it is something that you can explore even more. And Dead Open can definitely do that. So there's so much more you can do with Oppenheimer that I feel like nobody else will really be able to, because the Dead Open world really provides something new, something exciting that I can do with Oppenheimer, and something horrifying. Something absolutely horrifying. If Dead Open 2 becomes a psychological horror game and becomes the worst game in the series because of that, and the strangest game, so be it. So be it. That's how fate decided it. And, well, even with a heavy heart, I have to recognize that changes are important, and that Dead Open 2 will be the way that it is, whether I like it or not. And it may get a lot of criticism, may get a lot of praise. It may be very, very different from Dead Open 1, even and Dead Open 3. Although Dead Open 3 has, I'd say, something even a little bit more horrifying, as it is just as topical and a lot more personal to us. So I think Dead Open 3 is actually, it's a step up. Despite how it might look in the future, Dead Open 3 is really horrifying. But Dead Open 2, I mean, see what I'll do. What an amazing movie, and excited to have my own take on Oppenheimer. And I'm glad that I don't need to change really anything. I wouldn't need to change anything, but it follows up beautifully on his story, because I was already pretty familiar with his story. I had researched him, not as much as I would like. I'm still going to research him a lot more, read some books, all of that. I'll try and even understand the workings of the bomb and the physics, and all that. Just the basics, of course. I'm not some physician smartass, but I think that it's important to get a taste of it and at least know the basics of it, so that I can kind of get into his mind as much as I can. How would he react to the world that we live in today, and how would he want to change things if he would? And who and what would be driving him? His family. That's another question, isn't it? So, see you in Dead Open. And I guess Dead Open 2. We'll see how it goes. It's an incredible movie. Bye. Thank you.